Alrighty, what is up? Everyone watching here on RGL TV, excuse me. Thank you so much. Hope you've been enjoying this marathon so far. It is now my turn to step up to the plate and entertain you for probably about close to the next 3 hours. We've got two decent-sized runs here that we're going to be doing. I should introduce myself. My name is Vonnie Vaughn. I am super stoked to be here, part of the After Dark showcase for NLSS. I am going to be starting out by doing a NES game called StarTropics. I think we're going to do NLSS for our file name here. And I will just go ahead and get started. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Normally time starts on control of Mike, which would happen right like about here, but I didn't have the negative on my counter. I just have a basic one. So this is a marathon run, whatever. We're gonna go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, now. Alrighty. So this is one part of what you do here with the game. You've got you got very much like an RPG style walking around in an overworld, going into towns and stuff. And then we'll get to a combat phase in a little bit. But so there's a few towns in this game where it's got this format here, where you have to go into town, you have to talk to a certain number of people, including the chief of the town, and then you are able to proceed. So that's, I mean, the fact that I just went up and talked to those NPCs and just rushed through their text, there was an actual purpose to that. I've got a few more that I need to talk to. We're going to talk to this, whoops, hello. We're going to talk to this guy here. Talk to this girl here. Hope she doesn't walk up and block me as okay, good. So if I hadn't talked to all those people, then this guy would not step aside and allow me into here. So now this is the shaman. We hope this is the only time that we see this shaman, because the only other time that you would normally see her is if you game over, and we're very much hoping that does not happen. Alright, so now we're into the actual combat part of the game. So part of what the island chief did when I talked to him was he gave me this yo-yo weapon, and because Mike Jones, our protagonist here, is an ace pitcher, as he is reminded throughout the game, he can use this yo-yo to throw it out in front of him at high velocity and destroy his enemies. Music in this game is fantastic. There's a lot of great music that you only hear, especially in the speedrun, for only about like 10 or 15 seconds, which is kind of a shame. But overall, yeah, the soundtrack in this game is pretty great. I would agree with that statement. So, a couple things to talk about with the mechanics in this game. First of all, when it comes to using my weapon, there's going to be several bosses where I'm going to need to hit them many, many times in rapid succession as quickly as possible. However, doing so is not going to involve just mashing as fast as possible on the controller, because that's actually going to slow me down. What we're going to do instead is a very specific rhythm to how we attack, in that pretty much every input in this game can be buffered, which makes mashing kind of interesting, and I'll explain a little more when something like that arises. But first, here we have our first boss, a very ferocious snake. It's going to hit us eventually, and when it does, we're just going to jump over it during our iframes, and it's dead. And that's that. That's the first boss of the game that we just very unceremoniously just skip. And we're done. Intended strats, no doubt. I like the fact that even when you skip it and you don't kill it, when you get to the next screen, you see its skeleton. As if indeed you have slayed it. This is Babu. We'll see him again in a few chapters. The game is divided into 8 chapters. They are not at all equal in length. Chapter 3 is by far the longest chapter of the game. I know, so many points for what? They are not experience points. They do not have any tangible effect on what you do here in the game. So it's just for show. Oops, hold on. Alright. So this is chapter 2. Now we have the submarine. And we're going to use the submarine for a decent amount of overworld travel over the next few chapters. So what's going on here is we happen to stumble across this mommy dolphin who has lost her young boy. It's very sad. And we have been tasked with saving this dolphin. So in order to do that, we need to get over to where he's held captive. In order to do that, we need to talk to that lady who tells us about this bottle that she saw. And we open it up, and it gives us a special code, which we are going to input into our submarine in just a second. Oh, I should probably give a shout out to Taskbot, who is my first mate on this submarine. We're going to put in the code that's going to allow us to submerge. You're going to see these tiles here that have these black kind of wavy pattern on it. When you press B on them, it allows you to essentially just teleport to a designated spot where it would take you out. Whoa, it was meant to be, man. Alright, this is chapter 2. This is only comprised of essentially one dungeon. This introduced... Oh, God! Oh, that was close. I was caught swinging my yo-yo there. So, I was just about to say, this introduces those sinking blocks. They are on a set timer as soon as you enter a room. This is actually going to be really important for a couple of rooms that are going to be coming up. And I almost got caught standing on it, swinging my yo-yo, and died. That would have been unfortunate. Oops. Ah, crap. Okay, now I'm off cycle because I missed my input there. That's alright, we just wait instead. So much of the game is going to revolve around jumping onto these tiles, these green tiles here, which are going to create those kind of orangish-looking switches that we will step on, and we'll see various effects from stepping on them. Usually they either open doors or blow open holes in the wall so that we can progress. But other times they'll open chests, they'll reveal secret spots, so on and so forth. Alrighty, let's hope these all cooperate here. Pretty good, I'll take that. Alrighty, so probably should start talking about how the whole... Oh, whoops, no, just kill him. Then we can go. Probably start talking about how the whole mashing thing works. So, because like I said, all inputs are buffered, as soon as you swing your yo-yo and... Whoops. And you hit an enemy, you can, as soon as you have already started that animation, you can release B and then hold down B again. And as soon as your yo-yo returns to you, you will input it. It will throw it out again, and you can just do this over and over again. So, but the rhythm for it is very precise, and we're going to see it here on this boss. First thing we're going to do is freeze him. Freeze him again, just to be safe. You can do that in one cycle of the snowman freeze, but for the marathon, we're going to use 2. Now, here's what makes mashing with the yo-yo interesting, is that as soon as you hit the enemy, your yo-yo will return to you. So the distance that your enemy is to you will affect the speed that you need to mash. Now, very often, this is going to happen a lot with some mummies that you'll see coming up in the next chapter. The enemies will be approaching me as I attack them. As they approach me, because my yo-yo is going to be returning to me faster, the closer they get, I'm actually going to need to speed up the rhythm with which I am mashing. So it's not a static thing. You need to adjust based on the distance you are from the enemy. It's actually a pretty interesting little mechanic for the game, especially for the speed run. So I find it to make it interesting. All right, so this is the end of chapter 2. We rescued the baby dolphin. We're off. Everything is fine, except it's not. Our ship has wrecked. Oh, I didn't explain the backstory of how this all started out. So Mike Jones is on vacation. He's on summer vacation from high school, and he was going to Sea Island to visit his uncle Steve, who is a scientist and has a laboratory there. Well, he goes into the village on Sea Island, only to be told by the village chief that his uncle has mysteriously disappeared, and that Mike needs to go and do something about it. So he gives him a yo-yo and says, "Good luck, kid, figure it out." And off we go. Alright, so now we're in chapter 3. This chapter is comprised of 5 dungeons, all of which have some pretty interesting characteristics to them. First are these little kind of like blind dodo birds that move somewhat randomly. This also has the next 2 rooms, some of the most random enemies in the game, the flying monkeys. These things are awful. They move, the direction in which they move is very random, they're very erratic. That was actually really fast for the first one. Now we have 6 of them. Thankfully, this last room is the last time we will see these monkeys. Unless I die or something like that, which would be awful. Please die. Okay, that was actually pretty good, too. Okay, we're good. We get these throwing bolo weapons. Get a couple hearts here. Oh, crap. Wasn't sure if I was going to get that in time. So you see a little bit there, my mashing had to speed up just a hair as that enemy approached. That one only takes 5 hits, but it's, the enemies that take, 10 or more where it's really important. Yo, what's up, Not Sid? Not Sid is one of the better speedrunners of this game. Good to see you in here. What's up, Sin? How you doing, my friend? Alrighty, so here comes another one of these towns here where you gotta talk to a bunch of people and do stuff. This is by far the longest of them that you encounter. There's another one in Chapter 5 as well. Gotta talk to all these people. Oh, you're not? Oh, okay. Nice. So, there's an interesting thing here where people you talk to will ask you questions, and you need to buffer your input. So, with that girl that I just talked to there, we're gonna get some milk here, just to be safe. This is a marathon. Health management over these next 2 dungeons is very important. Gotta come out here and talk to this dude with the weird mustache. Anyway, so you have to buffer an input to the right to make sure you select the second option of the 2 that she gives you when you talk to her in order to get that objective. And the question she actually asked you is, you met her sister on an earlier, in the first chapter. She asks you which one you think is prettier in order to get credit for talking to her, and you need to talk to everyone in this town to make it work. You have to tell her that she's the prettiest one. That's what the question is. So, you know, we just do what we need to do in order to make the speed run work, you know? So what's going on here is that the chief's daughter has been put under a very strong sleeping spell. There is a magical scroll which will reverse the spell, which Mike has been tasked with retrieving. And the chief says, in exchange for you bringing that scroll back and bringing my daughter back to consciousness, I will repair your submarine so that you can continue on your adventure. So that's what we're doing. Again, you have to talk to everyone in the town that we did in order to talk to this guy here and have him slide a step up so that you can get out of the right side of town and keep moving. It will, Sid. You got it. Alright, we take that boost on purpose. So this next room coming up is one of many dark rooms that we're going to encounter. Especially for the speedrun, this just requires memorization. Ooh, that heart does not suck. Thank you so much for that. Hello, pick up the... Didn't care about the bat. I wanted the slingshot, though. That is going to be useful for a particular room coming up here. We can just go on through here. We don't need to grab any hearts because we are full. Alrighty. So there's a little trick. I want to see if I get it here. It's called a switchback. Let's see if I do it. Hey, I did it. Alright. So when you stepping on those stairs, walking to the left, if you press right on the exact frame that it registers you getting onto the stairs, you'll automatically turn around to the right at the moment as opposed to waiting until the next screen to do it, which saves exactly 4 frames. So... Oh, yikes. Well, there's that heart I just got. I gave it back. Okay. Alrighty. So, for those of you that are subs to RGL TV, you can get... Oh, no. That is a hit I really didn't want to take. You can get your RG lavas out in chat. As you can see, we are subterranean and things are hot in here. Again, these sinking stones are on a set cycle. So we know we can jump through here. Okay, let's hope I don't mess this up too badly. Oh, shoot. Oh, God. That didn't take long. We're going to play this a little safe. I knew I was going to take that hit. Okay, should not take a hit here. Good. Okay. I usually end up taking 2 damage there, but that took a little longer than I wanted it to, just because gave me the delay. Alrighty, here we go. That's the easy one. Let's see if I get the hard one here. I gotta switch up and... No, okay, I was just a hair too late. Alright, well, ripped 4 frames. Okay. Yeah, okay, so, funny you mentioned that, because that's what's coming up right here. In this next dungeon. Alrighty. Yeah, I know. I know. Alright. So, this is the graveyard. This has got a few new things to it, which are really, really not fun. I think this is this is one of the trickiest dungeons in the game. Alright, now, and in fact... Because of that, I'm going to do this. This is intentional here. I jumped in here died. This will only take a few seconds, but it will bring me back with 3 hearts. I'm going to need as much health as I can get for this level. Not only for this, but for what I do after this. So, I'm kind of playing with fire, you know, bringing myself down a life. But, provided that everything else goes to plan, this will be fine. Come on down. These little kind of like bone dogs here are very irritating to deal with. Alright, so in this room and several other rooms in this game, there are invisible ghost enemies that you can't see. So the way that we move here is very particular. It's pretty simple in this room, but in a couple of rooms here, there's going to be an extremely specific pattern that I'm going to do in order to navigate it and hopefully not take any damage. Okay, so here it goes. I'm going to go serious for a second here. Hey, we did it. Nice. So there are 4 ghosts on a set pattern that are floating back and forth in that room. And again, when they start out is on a set cycle. In fact, there's one right there that I just jumped over. Alrighty, so this little slug guy is hiding a secret passage here that we want to take in order to progress. So anyway, the set pattern with those ghosts is something that you just need to memorize and know where they are so that you can move through that room in a very specific fashion. Speaking of moving in a very specific fashion, there we go. Doing that entire room in the dark. So, oh boy, I did not mean to take that damage. Of course they give me the great pattern and the guy just hits me straight off. Alright, big scary room with the skull, boss music, we just jump out and we're done. Okay, good. Alright, I should be fixing that. Oh no, okay, actually this is fine. Didn't quite come down right on time. Getting some hearts here. Oh, shoot, that's right. Alright, so we're going to get our revenge on those invisible ghosts. We use this rod item here, and when you do that, it causes the room to flash, and all of the ghosts in the room appear. Now, this is crucial here because, as you can see, in order to make the wall explode so that I can get through, I have to kill all the enemies in the room. Alright. Oh, that heart was delicious. Thank you very much. Those are not common drops to get those hearts. So we're going to use our mirror special weapon here to reflect these magic spells back at the caster. This room I really need to concentrate, and I'll explain it after I'm done. Beautiful. Alright, so you only need to kill 4 of the 6 mummies in there to make that door appear, to make that door open. The 2 that you don't need to kill are the ones at the bottom of the screen, so I just have to keep my eye on them and make sure those aren't the ones that drift up and try to get me. Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't even get that one. Okay, cool. We're good. Alright. So, because if they do, the worst thing that you can do in that room, or any room with mummies for that matter, is have 2 mummies stack on top of one another, because then you're really in trouble. Alright, here's our boss. I affectionately refer to him as King Boo. Oh, thank you. Yes, please sit right there and let me just pelt you with these. Oh my goodness, this is easily the fastest I've ever killed this boss. Wow, that was insane. Oh my goodness, not Sid. If you're here, I know you've worked on this level a lot. Have you ever killed that boss that fast? Because that was crazy stuff. Wow. Wowie wow. Alright, we jump on here. 1, 2, and 3. That's true as well, Sid. Yes, about them being invulnerable. Alrighty, so we have opened this up here, drained all the water out of that pool that we walked by, and now we see something just chilling there. We want that thing that is just chilling there. And that thing is a crystal ball. Now, it certainly was Maxwell. There's no question about that. The reason why I waited until I walked into the room for a little bit and then used the rod was to set it up so that the position that I'm in allows me to just start throwing him right away, and he moves into it. Alright, so this here is what's called Shikola. It is a female-only little kingdom here. And if you would have come here before, you would have talked to this fortune teller and said, yeah, I can help you get in. You need to give me my crystal ball, though. I've lost it. So what she does here is she temporarily makes you appear to be... You are now female presenting, as they say. So yeah, again, if you approach as just standard Mike Jones, that pink knight up front says, yeah, you're not getting in. But now we talk to the queen of Shikola. She is going to be very impressed by Michelle now. So impressed that she's going to upgrade our weapon. We now have the shooting star. Now, the thing with the shooting star is that you will use the shooting star as opposed to the yo-yo if you have at least 6 hearts of life, which is why I said that the my life total coming out of that dungeon was so important, because we're definitely going to want the shooting star for these next 2 dungeons that we're doing. And if I have at least 2 hearts, then I can start the next dungeon with the shooting star. Having 3.5 means that we're in beautiful shape. So another thing that we did there was we went over and we talked to that purple knight over on the right hand side, and she gives us the magic spell that we need in order to proceed through this dungeon here, which is jumping on this 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait a second. As soon as it stops flashing, then we can go. You see that weapon there goes from the yo-yo to the shooting star as soon as I obtain 6 hearts. So we are good to go. This dungeon is very short. It's basically just, as you kind of saw on the map there, it was just a short transition from one side of that river to the other. Alright, now let's see if I get this pattern right. There's a pattern to make these mud skippers appear in such a way that you can kill them quickly, just like that. And this is one of my favorite tricks in the game. You just... Oh, shoot. I kind of screwed it up. If you don't have to kill that Octot over there on the left, you can just walk up. As soon as you get onto that tile, you can just turn and throw your shooting star to the right before the enemy even appears. And by the time it does, the shot from the shooting star is right on top of it, and it dies instantly. It's just a swaggy look. I like it. Alright. Final dungeon of this chapter. This has a couple of really mean rooms in it, so let's hope that it is not terribly mean. Oh, hello. Nice. Okay, I thought I was going to miss there. Definitely want to kill that skull to get it out of the way, because as you can see on those white tiles, as soon as you jump on them, they start to sink. You have just enough time to jump away, but if you're taking damage while you're on one of the tiles, you stay on it long enough that you aren't able to jump off of it and you instantly die. Alright. Please, there are trolls in this room, like literal trolls. Be nice to me. Okay, good. He jumped right in front of me, which is good. Normally they like to jump on you, like, right as you're jumping onto something. Ooh, that was good. And do you damage, but not this time. Come on, there we go. No hearts to get here, so we can just go right on through. Alrighty. I have to kill 2 trolls in this room. Their timing as to when they appear is pretty random. And so far, this first one is taking a long time. Come on. Come on, second one, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hello. Hello. There you are. Alright. That was unfortunate. Oh well. Cool. There's been a few rooms like this, but I'll point it out in that one. Sometimes there are several enemies in a room, and you only need to kill one or maybe just a few of them, but not all of them, in order to make the door appear, the wall explode, so on and so forth. So knowing which of those enemies it is going to save you some time, so you're not killing enemies that you don't absolutely need to. I don't even need that. There we go. Yo, what's up, Lab Hacky? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, the Frappas, they're called. Thank you. They just kind of look like trolls. Oh, wow, I almost got hit there. Not that it matters, because that's actually the last enemy that we need to kill for the chapter. We walk through this wall. We jump on this geyser. It's going to send us skyward. They are twin dragons. Frappas. Alright, so that geyser hurdles us up to the top of this mountain where we talk to this wise man who's like, holy crap, dude. Someone else is up here? Alright, you deserve the scroll, obviously. So now we run, we hurry. We get back to Miracola, where Bananette is sleeping. We read the scroll. We keep reading it. And she's awake. And she's immediately hungry. Chief's like, oh yeah, that's right, your ship. Yeah, you're good. Then we get out of here. Oh wow, sub 32 coming out of chapter 3. That's really good. Nice. Alrighty, so that's the end of chapter 3. Yo, Mantig. On to chapter 4. So here we go. We're just going to sail on over to this island. There's only one thing to do in here, which is to go in this town. We need to talk to one person in specific. It's this boy up here in the corner. He's going to tell us about somebody that he met from Sea Island that was chilling out here. And so we're like, okay, cool. Let's go see if we can find this guy. No, I don't think that's gonna happen. My PB is about 5 minutes off of world record. So, we're sailing along, and all of a sudden, a big whale eats us. Welcome to the whale maze. We now need to navigate the innards of this enormous sea mammal. And as we do, we find Babu, who we met in Chapter 1. Babu is Dr. J's assistant. Dr. J is Mike's uncle. So what Babu says is, okay, we're trapped in here, we gotta get out. Hey, I've got my raft in here, let's light it on fire and make the whale sneeze. But in order to do that, we need a fire source. He has a lighter, or he had a lighter. It is now gone, and we need to go retrieve it. This chapter is unique in that we will do 0 combat in this chapter, and it's the only one like it. All the others have at least 1 dungeon. This maze can be very time-consuming and frustrating if you don't know where to go. Luckily, we do, because we've practiced this. Alrighty. Now we disembark the sub. We walk around on the guts of this whale, who seems rather undisturbed by this, which is cool. And, oh, hey, a lighter! Now, you see those yellow fish bones above it? You cannot walk through those. Now, in that particular room, you can actually approach that room from the top, be blocked by the fish bones, and you can see the lighter. But if you approach it from the top, you can't get to it. It's a fantastic troll. Alright, so now with the lighter in hand, we can take that little submerged spot, which conveniently brings us right back to Babu and his flammable raft. And we're going to light it on fire. It's going to get smoky, and smokier, and smokier, and smokier, and... gosh darn it, it's going to do the trick. Alright, now... the most infamous feature of this game is the fact that when you bought it, packed in with the game was, of course, the instruction manual, as well as a letter from your Uncle Steve, like an actual physical letter from your Uncle Steve. What Babu is telling you to do here is to submerge that letter in water. And when you do, it reveals a special 3-digit code that you're supposed to input right here in order to make your sub equipped with a tracking device for your uncle. Now, if you don't have that letter, you have absolutely no idea what to do there. So let's say you rented this from, I don't know, your local neighborhood Blockbuster. You got to the end of Chapter 4, and unless you were just using brute force combinations, and there's no penalty for getting it in wrong, unless you were brute forcing that 3-digit code, your playthrough of this game was done. Anyway. So, oops, no, I gotta walk up first, hello. Indeed. You know, I don't necessarily think that it was like a... obviously, you know, back in the late 80s, early 90s, it wasn't like PC games where, you know, people were copying ROMs onto physical cartridges and distributing them around like shareware. I think it was just like, hey, let's have an interesting little quirk with our game that no other game has. And it was, as long as you bought the game. If you rented or borrowed the game, then yeah, didn't work. One other interesting thing about this game that I haven't mentioned is that this is one of the rare NES games that only saw a release in the US. This game was not released in Japan. Alright, so here's the last of these villages where you have to go and talk to a certain number of people before you get a guard to move. So what's going on here is that Mike wants to get to the other side of this island. However, there is an enormous boat blocking the way. We're going to talk to the chief of the town, and he's going to tell us about the legend of the boat. Captain Bell is the name of the owner of this boat. And he's going to tell us about a particular cave that we can go to that is going to grant us access to doing something about the boat. But first, we need to talk to Peter. Peter is a hungry jerkbird who we need to give a worm to, because that's what he's into. That's what we did. That's the very first thing we did in this chapter, was go and talk to that master fisherman over there in that hut on the other side of the island. And he's like, yo, have this worm. And we're like, all right. And then we put it to good use. So, how funny is that? Alright, so now that we've heard the legend of Captain Bell, we can now enter his... chambers. Now, the whole point of talking to Peter the parrot was that he gave us kind of a password of sorts. And that password was do mi far do mi, do mi far do mi, which is what's called solfege, which is if you've ever heard that song from The Sound of Music, you know, do re mi fa sol la ti do, he's referring to a set of notes. Now we're going to input this password on this giant organ. So do, mi, so, fa, do, mi. Once you input that, then those flames over on the left disappear. We may now take these stairs into the one and only dungeon of Chapter 5. We'll be in there momentarily. Alrighty. Oh, shoot, that's right. I just have my yo-yo. So again, another one of those rooms where you just need to kill one enemy and then you're good. So, this dungeon is Chapter 5. The theme of this dungeon is traps. Little tricks and traps that will try to get you. And you need to be diligent. So, one of them are these stones that start to explode. You got these arrows that come flying out of the wall. And we've got some pretty absurd traps that are going to be coming up here that we're going to have to deal with. I'll be sure to point those out when those come. We've also got these orbs that fly back and forth only once you trigger them by hitting them. So we hit those to get them out of the way. Bit of a maze here and a little secret. We go up, and this tile that has no indication of when you step on it, you fall through it. That's what you do. Alright, just need to kill the bat in here. Wait for a second so that snake goes by. Not too long so the other snake hits us. Got more exploding tiles in here. Not a big deal though, we basically just need to jump down here, hit this switch, and off we go. Alrighty. Enormous bowling balls! So the blue one will just run back and forth. And we just wait for it to go by, and this gives us plenty of time to hit both of these switches, which we need to do. Gonna need those mirrors for the last combat room of this dungeon. But we go ahead and pick them up now because it's easiest to do it there. Just need to kill the snake. Pickle. That go by. Alright. We're gonna need that rod for one room in specific here. Ah! Okay, good. That didn't cost me my morning star. Thank you. I would have been really upset if that would have happened. But that's fine. Oh, don't move. Thank you. Okay, good. Alright, another scary bowling ball. This one just rolls back and forth in a very short pattern. One touch of the ball is instant death. So, we have to be very, very careful with it. No damage boosting through it or anything like that. Alright, so we use that rod here. You don't have to deal with these big old bullies. You just kill that ghost and it makes this open up. That damage boost is fine. Oh my goodness. There we go. We're going to get some hearts back here. The morning stars will be ours once again shortly. Alright. I'm actually going to buffer some stuff here by jumping right on that spot. That buffers it for that tile there. Which is good. Alright. So now the angry bowling ball. This is going to try to chase you down. However, the nice thing is you can hit it with your weapon, and you can stun it momentarily, which is going to allow us to get up here for this cycle. And then we can walk right by it. Alright. Have to kill these pirates in the same way we killed those wizards in Chapter 3 by reflecting their shots back at them with the mirror, and then kill those 2 snakes, and that's it! That's all the combat for Chapter 5. We're pretty much done. Yeah, those bowling ball rooms are not fun, especially if you don't know what you're doing. I agree. Valid nightmares. Alrighty, so we've stepped on this tile 3 times. It has opened up this little mill thing. Let us salute Captain Bell as we take his great ship of legend, and in just a moment's time, we will desecrate everything that he holds dear and destroy his ship by sinking it to the bottom of the sea. But sometimes, a dog's gotta do what a dog's gotta do. And what we've done is we have opened up this passageway, and we are off, and that is the end of Chapter 5. Yes, rip ship. Alright, so Chapter 6 starts out with easily the longest submarine navigation portion of the game. This whole free-floating portion is a huge maze. There's all kinds of different huts you can go into, talk to people. I believe there's a heart container out here that you can get to increase your life. It is very, very easy to get lost. This is rather expansive. But we are going to go to very specific places to make this go faster. Now, what's fun about this is there's tons of these submerged spots, which, if you aren't familiar with them, will take you to seemingly random places. So they can really kind of just disorient you as far as your progress if you're trying to move in a specific direction. Luckily, we know exactly where to go. Watch, I say that, and then I'll take the wrong submerged spot. Alrighty. So that code that we put in, that 747 code, which is our uncle tracker, it's going to start to kick in here. There's a few tiles that when you move onto them, it's going to tell you move, this number north, this number east, whatever. So this is the spot where we want to submerge. Alright, this is actually the last we are going to see of the sub. We are done with it, so F to pay respects to Sub C. As we are about to begin the first of 2 dungeons in this chapter. That was not it. That was just you walking through 2 corridors, and that was it. Alright. So, this chapter is going to introduce an item called the anklet. It's going to turn Mike from blue to orange, and it's going to allow you to jump over 2 tile-wide gaps as opposed to just 1. The effect lasts for only 1 room. You see I'm blue again. Which means I'm just regular old Mike. Oh my goodness. So you only need to kill the magenta mummies in this room. However, the blue ones like to just get in your way. So we have to be very careful about that. Because once they body you, it can be very difficult to continue to elude them. So we need to get this anklet because we've got a couple of 2 tile wide gaps to jump over. Nice. Alright, so we're going to take some leaps of faith here. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die. Not going to die. We take that little... It's kind of a little bit of a detour there. But it allows us to get into this spot here, which makes it pretty easy to kill the mummies, as well as give us an item called Medicine, which is a on-demand use item, which I believe refills either 5 or 6 hearts. Alright, so a little mini-boss here. We hope that once he approaches us and gets in range to be hit, that we will kill him in one cycle. Is he coming? No. No, still not coming. Come on down. Come on down here. Come on down here. No. Jeez. Oh my goodness, he's taking forever to get down here. Wow. Come on. Now, my positioning does not have any effect as to when... Oh, dang it. I probably only missed by about 1 or 2 hits. Just come on down quickly. Ay, come on, come on. This is taking forever. Yeah, it's all RNG. There's nothing you can do to manipulate him to move to a certain spot or jump or, you know, slide on down. You're just at their whim, unfortunately. All right, but we're done with that. Now we can proceed with the next part of this dungeon. Ooh, nice. Ooh, 2 hearts. Nice. I'll take that. That was bad. That was rather bad. That took quite a bit of time, which is unfortunate. Because I felt like I was on a pretty good pace up until then. Alright, so some secret stuff going on here. Grab the anklet. Jump onto this. That's going to make that switch appear. Alright. We get some baseballs. That's cool. But what we really want are these spikes. Hello. Spikes are the most OP special item in the game. You use them and you float around and hit everything in the room automatically. It's pretty magical. We need this anklet for this room. Oops. That's not a big deal. Gotta kill these 2 little Nautilus shell things in order to open that door. Yeah, instead of going around and fighting all of these guys individually, instead we're just going to let the spikes do the work for us. Which is cool. Use them one more time. Alright. Now we have my least favorite boss in the game. His name is Joe something. I call him Jackass Statue Face. Let's hope I do this in 2 cycles. Oh, come on. Okay, that was some good damage there. That's cool. Just take it. Just... There we go. Good. Alright. Took 1 hit. That's not a problem. Item is extremely OP. I'm not mad about it. This game is really tricky, so any help you can get is cool. Alrighty, so we are through. We did it in 2 cycles, took 1 hit, but we're about to get 2 hearts back in the beginning of this next dungeon. So, we are doing just fine. A little walking around to do. And here's where the story's going to kind of take a little bit of a turn. So we come across this thing here. It's this big metal rock that's got some kind of weird alien inscription on it, and you don't know what's going on, but you're like, whatever. I just got a job to do. Take a little secret passage in here. We actually have to do this. The room above actually just puts you in like an endless cycle. So, if you are not shrewd enough to go through there, you're kind of stuck. Oh, shoot. I missed that. That. Please die. Thank you. Those daggers do a lot of damage. I am extremely shocked that I did not get hit there. So this is... Oops. Hello. This is a pretty interesting weapon. These splitting ninja stars. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Okay, I did not want to take that damage. So what happens is you press B once to throw them, and then B again to make them split. And this is going to be... Oh, I don't remember which bat to kill here. That's the one. Okay. So that actually mechanic of that weapon is going to be very interesting and useful coming up here in a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and refill our life here. Alrighty, now we're going to fight kind of a little mini-boss here. Good. Didn't get his second shot off. That's what we want to see. Good. Glad I did that on the first try. Okay, I do not want to waste Ninja Stars here. The Ninja Stars instantly kill these enemies. But you have to wait till they get all the way to the other side of the screen. Okay. Oh, shoot. I should have probably moved. That was dumb. I forget what I get. If I get more stars or hearts. Oh, I get more stars. Okay. Oh, and I get hearts. Okay, I'll take them. Just to be safe, I really do not like this room. This seems to confound me every time. Oh my god, I'm shocked I did not get hit there. Oh my god, that was just bad timing. Okay, here we go. Now we're good. This is the last run. Alright, good. Alright, we can jump directly through here because we don't need any more hearts. Alrighty. All these big scary enemies. Those little floating bubbles, much like in Legend of Zelda, when they hit you, you are unable to, you're actually unable to use any weapons. In Zelda, they just don't let you swing your sword, but in this, you're completely disabled. Now we've got two of these clay dolls here. One down. Other one's being a bit of a butt here. Get over here and let me kill you. There we go. Alright. There we go. On to the final boss of this dungeon, which is going to be made very easy with these ninja stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And they're done. Alrighty. So that's it for combat in Chapter 6. But there's still plenty more to happen. Well, I shouldn't say plenty more, but still some significant stuff to happen here. So we're going to walk through here. We're going to walk. We're going to walk. We're going to continue to walk. Walk, walkity, walk, walk. Oh, come on. And there's this man standing here. But it's not just any man. This is your Uncle Steve. So, your Uncle Steve is going to tell you a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I actually need to concentrate on something right in here, so I'm going to wait for a second before I continue to explain. Okay, good. So he asks you a yes or no question buried in there. If you respond yes to the question is, do you want me to repeat everything I've just told you? And if you say yes, then the whole story starts over, and it wastes probably about 15 seconds. So you need to be very careful that you don't allow him to repeat itself. So, exactly, Miria. So what he tells you is, yeah, the reason why I disappeared is because I was researching these aliens, and I got too close and they abducted me, but they have evil intent, so you need to go and destroy them. Speaking of evil intent, the first dungeon of Chapter 7. This is extremely notorious for having a particular section that it's just brutal. Like, you need good RNG to get through it. So to mitigate that, we're going to come up here and grab an item that is definitely out of the way, but for the marathon setting, I think is important to get. This is what's called Vitamin X. This is not only going to refill your life, but it's going to overclock it above your maximum. And that overclocked amount is either going to disappear as you take damage, or it's just going to slowly dissolve over time. Oh boy. So what we're coming up on here, these next couple screens, are what are referred to affectionately in the community as the bottleneck. In fact, it's this particular screen right here. There's all of these guys that do a bunch of damage, take a bunch of damage. Oh shoot, okay. That extra hit was not fun. Now we have to get through this screen where you've got these zoomer bikes coming through, and the fact that I don't have my Morning Star anymore is really bad. Oh my god, am I gonna make it? Oh my god, thank god. Alright, I'm not out of the woods yet. I still have to fight a mini-boss here. And let's hope I do it successfully. Shoot. Please die. Thank you. Yes. Nice. That was actually a really solid fight. And I didn't die. So, getting through the first part of Chapter 7, the first dungeon of Chapter 7 on your first try, is far from a guarantee. So the fact that I did it here in this marathon setting... Oh, by the way, this is the very first time that I've run StarTropics in a marathon. So the fact that I did that on my first try is an enormous relief. Alrighty. So, we come across this orangish magic cube. We need to collect 3 of these, but this first one is unique in that it upgrades our shooting star to a weapon called the Supernova, which is much more powerful. Its projectile will reach all the way across the screen. And that's cool. Unfortunately, in order to use it, you need to have at least 11 hearts of life, which I now do. I can just waste these guys super easily with this weapon, which is awesome. Alright. 7-2 is a real pain as well. There's some very difficult rooms coming up here. This is not one of them. You basically just kill that guy from a distance and walk on through. Now, let's see if I get a bad pattern from this guy. I'm fine! Oh, baby. Just happened to jump right over his shots. This next screen is horrendous. Take the damage from above. I'll take those hearts, and good. Alright, that was pretty good. Alright, this next room here can just be a stupid waste of time if these enemies do not cooperate. Which they... Ah, they're actually cooperating. Wow, that was really fast. Okay, sweet. Super sweet. Alright. I'm making this stuff look easier than it is, rest assured. Alright. Get a little vitamin X to get our health back up to max. Take that damage there, that's fine. We were going to lose it because of the overclock anyway. So now we have to do close quarters combat with these guys, which is fine, except for the fact that you've got this lightning field that will appear in random places and block your shots. I'm actually not going to take that damage, just to be safe. Oh, that's right, there's 4 hearts in here. I could have just taken that. Oh, I gotta kill everything in here. Hopefully. Hello? Take those hearts. Alright, little mini-boss here. Have to be very careful about where you position yourself in comparison to this boss. We do not want him to approach us and shoot at us. That is not what we wanted to see. Okay, now he's dead. Okay, so that took a little longer than I wanted it to, but that's fine. Alrighty. So we got a long jumping tile sequence here. Oops. Oh, shoot. Okay. Actually, that's not such a big deal. Alright, this is a very particular pattern that I need to concentrate on. Okay, good. Alright. Oh, no, no, no! Don't! Oh, thank God. Okay. Touching him is instant death. That was terrifying. Please get into the... So what you have to do with this boss, and I've done it here, I believe, yes. You have to push him all the way to the back of that ledge there and have him fall into the pit. So I attempted the quick kill. My timing was a little bad on switching weapons, so I didn't get it. But I didn't die, which is huge. If you touch... That boss, his name is Ostroid. If you touch Ostroid, you die instantly. And you get sent back, like... hecka far, so that didn't happen. Rejoice. No, that's the wrong path. I wanted this short one here. Exactly, yeah. If you game over, any checkpoints that you had in a particular dungeon are disregarded. You start at the beginning, and considering how long and tricky the dungeons are, both of the dungeons are in Chapter 7, if that happens, then you're not too happy. Suffice it to say. Alrighty. Just a couple more stairs to go through here. And we find another magic cube. Now, this is a particularly annoying thing that transpires here. Where your life gets... So, your life capacity gets completely filled to all 22 hearts. And you see it very slowly refill. So I'm going to have all 22 of my hearts. Well, the chapter is just a few seconds away from ending. When I begin the next chapter, I'm going to start it with 3 hearts. So this refill of your life here is 100% pointless, because you're not going to carry those hearts over to the next dungeon. Rather annoying for a speedrunner to sit there and watch the time tick away as those useless hearts are getting filled up. Anyway, so the alien spaceship is now taking off. We now need to fight in the ship. This last chapter is a doozy. It's basically comprised of 3 boss fights. The first of which is just... It's just purely RNG. For those of you that are familiar with A Link to the Past, Zelda 3, the Aghanim fight, where it either shoots out those beams that you need to reflect back at him, or what are referred to as the blue balls. And there being a random number of those blue balls. Pretty similar phenomenon here. So, the fate... Oh my god. Alright, well that's a good thing I took that damage early. To have that face come down that far is pretty rude. I only wasted a few seconds, so that's not that big a deal. So, we're either going to get the face here, which we have to hit on 4 separate cycles. Continuing to hit it will do me no good. Okay, we've got 2 faces here. That's good. I swear there's bad RNG that can happen here. I swear there's bad RNG that can happen here. If I get four faces in a row, I'm going to laugh. Oh, okay, no. Alright, so you either get faces or you get hands. Hands you can do nothing with. You can't do any damage to the hands. I only got 1 hand, which is insanely good RNG. It's 50-50 as to whether or not you get whether you get a face or a hand. You can get 1 or 2 hands. You can get, 10 or more hands. And the hands only serve to waste time in a speedrun. So you want to see as few of them as possible. We only saw 1. That is fantastic. Oops. I'm going to kill him. So I don't have to deal with him. Okay. Alrighty. There's going to be a guy pop out here. Please go to the right. Thank you. Oh, shoot. Okay. I'd like to get as little damage as possible here. Okay, good. Alright. Here's the next boss, the reactor. I'm going to go serious for this, because this requires a lot of concentration. Please, on this cycle. Got it. Good. Alright. That was actually a really good reactor fight. Getting it before the end of the second cycle was nice. Alrighty, so just a couple more screens here, and we're about to do our final fight. The final boss of the game is here, Zoda Prime. Again, a lot of RNG goes into this boss. I'm gonna go serious here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Whoa, what was that? Oh, come on. Oh, no. Shoot. Ah, oh, darn it. All right. How close am I to killing this thing? There it is. All right. Final hit, and that's time. Boss is dead. Alrighty. So, that was the final boss of the game. Now, here's the reason why. There's still other stuff to do, like, you need to collect the 3rd magic cube, you need to, so, I'll tell you what the rest of happens here. You get the 3rd magic cube, you use the escape pod to escape from the ship as it explodes, you get dropped into the middle of the ocean, you try to swim to shore, can't find anywhere, but drown. Shortly afterwards, the mama dolphin, who you helped out in Chapter 2, takes you to the shore of Sea Island. Everything is cool, and then you walk into the village there. You see the shaman, you see the chief, you see Uncle Steve, and you put the 3 cubes together, and it releases these human-like alien life forms called the Argonians. There's 7 of them, they're children, and the chief of the town says, you know what, I'm gonna adopt them. And that's how the game ends. Now, here's why we don't do all of that stuff, and instead we end time on the final hit of the boss. If you go through that entire boss fight, and it does not spit out 2 of those little kind of like blobby things that were coming after you, you get what's called a credits warp, which means that as soon as you kill the boss, instead it skips all that stuff that I just described, and it takes you to the ending credit sequence where there's a montage. Now, normally there's some really cool music over that montage, but there's no music, so kind of a little quirky thing there, but yeah, so that's why we do that, because you never know when you're going to get that credit warp or not. So in order to make it consistent, final hit is time. Final time was 1 hour, 10 minutes, 51 seconds. That's only a minute higher than my PB. So the fact that I came in only a minute above PB and 7 minutes under estimate on my very first marathon run of this game is pretty phenomenal. I am very, very pleased about that. Speaking of very first marathon runs, I'm going to take a quick break here. We are going to go to setup here, and we will be right back. I will be running Newtopia 2, so give me a couple minutes to just kind of step away, get set up, and then we will right back with more Vonnie and another speedrun.